This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 844. I'm apparently your host this week, Exvee. Brian had some personal stuff and was not able to host for us tonight, which I found out literally like 2 minutes ago. But, it's all good.
I
We can
am
roll
producing
with
the
it. The
show,
show
though.
must. Oh, hi, Brian.
I'm here producing the show. I will run the board for you, but you're hosting. Bye.
Brian is our Michael Bay this evening. He's the producer. He's not actually directing everything per se.
Which is why we will not be full of explosions and sunsets.
I can't believe Don, coming from you, that's a bad comment.
Oh well, you got to edit it out for that day early release.
I mean,
Yeah,
that would be a positive comment, but you, it's kind of negative.
/Patreon.
Okay, so that was Headmaster Don, Diecast, Rob Clay, and Matt is also here and has not chimed in yet.
No, I'm just enjoying the chaos.
Yes. Most weeks I also just enjoy the chaos, but this week I'm instigating the chaos. Which in some ways is a preferable position to be in.
Yeah, chaos, Discord.
We are on Discord, tfradio.net/Discord. Come join our community. Thanks for the segue there, Don. Some great people there. A lot of people I've come to consider friends, and I love all of our regulars that we have. Like, I strongly encourage anybody who just wants like a really relaxed, chill place to talk about their nerd topics. Like, come give us a try. Discord's great. You can run on your phone. It has a desktop app, or you can just run out of your browser if you don't want to install anything. It's very versatile and usually works pretty well.
Except when it confuses me and I try to look at all this stuff on my left hand side of my screen and I have no idea what all this stuff
but
is.
But that's a Don problem, not a Discord problem.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Don has lots of problems, and that's one of them. But that's
so many. So many.
So Don, do you think it's a Don problem that Hasbro has launched their own Hasbro Entertainment subsidiary now, replacing eOne, which they just recently sold to Lionsgate
for a lot of money?
Okay, I have to wonder what the Astro train of thought was on this, because they sold an entertainment company to create an entertainment company, but it seemed like they weren't doing a lot with the first entertainment company in the first place.
The interesting thing is that they have through the notable people from eOne, of selling eOne off to Lionsgate.
Chris, do you have another window open?
No, I mean, I haven't loaded anything.
As your producer,
hopefully that will settle back down.
As your producer, are you recording locally?
I sure am.
Excellent.
Yeah. I had a local recording going before you started the new. You'll have a fun time thinking that. But from Entertainment One, who are going to be heading up Hasbro Entertainment, still isn't working. Matt's shaking his head.
Maybe I'm hosting this week.
Can you guys at least make out what I'm saying? Kind of.
No.
Maybe you are.
Okay.
I don't know why my internet's doing this.
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so am I still trying to host, or are you stepping in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
This will just be the edit, but it won't be on Patreon because nobody wants to hear this.
No, I don't even want to hear this. No, I think it's interesting that they took 3 of the people from Entertainment One, and they're now heading up Hasbro Entertainment. And I kind of agree with Don's position here. Like, it's not clear what their motive was, or like what they're trying to get out of this now that they think they're going to do with a fully in-house thing that isn't a thing they spent a lot of money on before. Like, I kind of wonder. I don't know if selling one off to Lionsgate was just a matter of like, yeah, we can doing this with some of the people we won, but maybe we can also like make a nice chunk of money compared to what we spent to buy eOne in the first place. Because selling off the rest of eOne to Lionsgate is not the first time they sold off eOne assets. They sold off, I think, the music interests in that to someone else previously because Hasbro didn't want to pursue any of that. So like, from the time of purchase to now, Hasbro might have turned a little bit of a profit flipping the company like this.
I'll say, might it have just been easier to just sell everything as opposed to breaking it up and selling the assets separately? I don't know how that works.
Depends
Well,
on who wants the assets. Like if they're music assets, it probably went to a music company, and
Or also the basically the effort to sell off the individual assets would not have got them the money in either a quick enough fashion or in overall easier fashion. So they may have lost money as a whole, but they got it back in time and immediate influx of cash versus parting it out.
I'd just be upset if I was Lionsgate, because we just paid Hasbro a whole bunch of money for their entertainment company, and then they're just going to start another one that is going to compete with the one they just bought. Like, usually there's some sort of clause when you buy a company that they can't, compete with you for at least so many years.
But Lionsgate's already in media. So the thing is, this is nothing new for Lionsgate. They're just getting more media stuff under their umbrella.
I mean,
they were already competing against Hasbro in some degree for at least eyeballs.
Yeah, but Hasbro
it could
should
be that
out of
there's
it.
it could be that there's some deal where Hasbro Entertainment stuff could be released through Lionsgate.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
It would be like, Don, if you were selling if I was selling Transformers and I sold my Transformers business to you, call it, diecast Transformers, and then I just decide to open up a different company and I'll call it, something else, but still selling Transformers. You just bought a company off me, and I'm just going to create another company and compete with you anyway. When you just gave me a whole bunch of money.
The thing is, though, that's business. And Lionsgate has been in the business long enough to know that they may do this down the road, maybe not this soon. But one thing I had wanted to mention when I saw this was it was my theory back when IDW lost either when they lost the license to Transformers, that Hasbro may be looking at going into some kind of publishing their own in-house comics. Now, this doesn't say anything about print, but it is digital distribution. So maybe they will be looking to try to tie in whatever this new comic series is coming out with. Rain Dancer, Skymaker,
Skybound.
Skybound. Thank you. Maybe they're looking to get away from the comicsology platform, since I've heard it's self-destructing in a lot of cases. So they're trying to bring their properties back under this umbrella if they're not doing it under as print. So that's what I'm wondering, if we're going to be seeing Hasbro offering their comic off from this new company through this.
I still think, as I probably point out most times that this gets brought up, if Hasbro wanted to start self-producing and publishing comic books, they would have done that immediately when they, wrapped up their affiliation with IDW.
Correct.
Before going to Skybound's doorstep with it.
But they may not have had the money.
Skybound has. Well, they probably still don't. I mean, they sold eOne, so they got an influx of cash from that. But at the same time, buying eOne in the first place would have been leveraged against Hasbro's assets, so they're kind of just getting themselves evened out for that. It's high-end business stuff rarely deals in trading actual cash. It's just basically, tossing a debt from one company to another one. And when you get really good at that, that's when you kill Toys R Us. But I don't think Hasbro wants to publish their own comics. And even if they had an interest or started developing an interest, whatever term their licensing with Skybound is for right now, that would have to run out before they could start doing that. So certainly a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, the things may shift around. Somebody else may be running Hasbro instead of Chris Cox, and get the itch again to start doing more direct media production like that for their properties. But I think right now it's just going to be kind of status quo, and Hasbro Entertainment is probably going to focus on the production of their TV shows for their in-house brands, movie stuff related to that. It's not going to be a major shift in what we see come out of there. It's just going to be reorganization under the hood, probably costing them less money in some capacity, because they wouldn't do this if there was not some financial gain to be had from it. And I mean, certainly it's possible too. Selling eOne, they might have made a deal with Lionsgate to distribute some of their stuff. We know they're still distributing stuff through Paramount also as a partner company. So like, Hasbro Entertainment will be production, but it's not going to be direct distribution. So even if they were producing their own comic books, they would still have somebody else probably publishing and getting them out to the retail endpoints.
I think my main question at this point is what what Entertainment One actually owned. Given that a lot of these, a lot of the stuff that we knew they were doing belonged to Hasbro, and presumably it still does. I looked at their website and I missed how much they sold Entertainment One for, but I'm wondering if the Fablemans and Peppa Pig are really worth that much money.
Peppa Pig was really popular at one point, though.
Yeah.
I like Rusted Cross's comment on the comics thing. I hope Hasbro doesn't make their own comics, so these comics already yellow too fast if they're in the sun. Well played, Rusty. Well played. But yeah, it's interesting to me how they've gone about the new entertainment studio business here, and taking probably some of the premier talent from behind the scenes of that for the new company from the eOne that they just sold. If this develops into anything particularly like noteworthy, I'm sure we'll be hearing about it in the near enough future. I assume the subsequent movies are probably going to be co-produced through this now, along with the film distribution partners like Paramount.
Yeah, and one thing I do just want to mention, just out of some misguided sense of fairness, it's not necessarily that Hasbro sold Entertainment One to Lionsgate, kept these guys, and even though it looked like they might have been supposed to be part of the deal, it's entirely possible that Lionsgate bought Entertainment One, didn't want these people, and Hasbro wanted to keep them since they were already working on Hasbro projects.
It's also too very plausible. Hasbro Entertainment was in the works for a while before the eOne sale, even if it wasn't public knowledge, and these people were already transferred off of eOne employment on paper to Hasbro Entertainment. So it also wouldn't have been a case of, they appear to be still working for eOne at the time of sale. Because, yeah, I think the lawyers would probably have an issue with that when all is said and done.
Yeah.
All right. So moving into our, more common toy talk, we have had some updates for Missing Link Convoy. One of them is interesting and kind of makes sense. The other one is a little unfortunate. So first up, Takara Tomy tweeted out pictures of a removable matrix chamber component for the cab robot. Of course, we have seen in the promotional photos that, the Missing Link Convoy comes with a matrix that fits in the chest. And I guess some of us probably assumed that it was a permanent fixture in the body, that there'd be a combination for that matrix. But no, as it turns out, that can be taken out and you have basically just a Diaclone correct convoy cab then that probably can seat classic Diaclone drivers.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's very smart design. Hopefully it will be a nice solid fit in there so that it doesn't rattle around a lot when you're moving the toy, because that would kind of suck. The other thing they tweeted out was pictures of the sticker sheets confirming that, oh boy, there's sticker sheets. So for the C01 version, the toy-based version, there is a whole bunch of stickers to line the trailer with. So probably that's not going to be the nice, molded relief detail like on the toy. But at the same time, for both toys, there's stickers for all those details that they sculpted and painted.
Which is weird.
It is. The tweet involved, though, does translate using the automatic translation on Twitter, so grain of salt. Some stickers are bonus stickers with no specified position. You can enjoy the difference from the three-dimensional mecha, which I take to mean we've reproduced the original stickers here, and you can just enjoy seeing what the stickers look like compared to the detail that we've sculpted on in 3 dimensions now.
Yeah, so my suspicion with this was, for people who buy this and want the the 1984 or 85 in Japan's case accurate experience of the toy with flat stickers for that stuff, you can put those over all the molded on painted detail areas. Like those are optional. I don't suspect that the trailer part is going to be optional, unfortunately.
But just remember, if you do that, I will come to your house and I will smack you. I think this is a nice thing you can actually display, like especially with C-02, the anime edition, you can actually display the stickers next to the toy as kind of like, look at this neat sticker sheet. I know it's kind of dumb, but in the same way, I think it would look nice in a display.
Yeah, I mean, depending what you're going for, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, from the look of the sticker sheet, I'm thinking that the yellow details on the bumper may be stickers. Just because
so one of the first things we heard actually was that the middle yellow square on the pelvis was one of the stickers that was referenced.
Okay.
So that actually might be a necessary one.
Yeah. If you want those yellow spots to, match the animation. So
yeah. I did end up pre-ordering the C01 version after Pulse put it up.
I pre-ordered the CO1 from Amazon Japan, so yeah, I'm in for this.
I had some pangs of regret when I saw the sticker sheet for the trailer and realized I'm going to have to do that myself, and it's probably not going to be painted or factory applied. That's a little bit of a killjoy for me because I don't have the love of applying stickers to toys.
But they're bigger stickers, so you should be okay.
Yeah, hopefully.
Just take it with you next time you visit Hey Mickey. It'll be fine.
Don't think I haven't thought about that.
Hey, I do still have that Fortress Maximus Mickey put all the stickers on, and they are just absolutely lined up great.
I mean, you should have seen the process. He is super meticulous about doing that. Now, he has gotten a lot older since, so I don't know if his eyesight and his hand-eye coordination are quite as good as they used to be, but,
Mood.
That's a lie. I've seen him paint. He's still great. I just have to make fun of him for being old when he's never going to hear me actually say this because I don't think he listens to the show.
Gotcha.
All right. What else do we got going on? Yeah. So last week we talked about Super7 Ultimates Bludgeon from Wave 2. We have some photos now of the rest of the toys from the wave and some extra photos of Bludgeon. So the wave consists of Dinosaur Mode Grimlock, Action Master, specifically Trax, and G1 Megatron. Trax looks, Don, like, help me out here. Does Trax just look kind of like oddly off to you a little bit?
He does, and he's in my pile of loot right now because
I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, I love Trax, and I've been waiting for this for a while, but seeing these pictures, he looks not right. I can't put my finger on. It's like in the box, he kind of looks right, but when he's out and posed. See, I didn't care about the Action Master part. I was looking at just having a good-looking animation show season 2 Trax.
Right.
He just does not look right.
Yeah, I wonder if it is because of you got one there, Diecast.
I have Grimlock.
Oh, okay.
This box is
that's big,
huge.
Well, save it for what we got this week.
I know. I just figured.
It's fine. I'm wondering, like, if Trax looking a little bit off is because it's Action Master Trax rather than just normal Trax. Like, that very well could be the case.
Yeah,
I'm not super familiar with what Action Master Trax, the original toy, looks like because that's not one of the common ones you see get tossed around.
Yeah,
I'm looking at pictures of it now, and I think maybe the issue is just the colors don't quite match Action Master Trax either. I'm almost thinking that what happened is that they sculpted Action Master Trax and put an animation paint job on it, which is why it just has this dissonance to it. Because Action Master Trax's paint job is actually very, very different compared to this. So
yeah, and the one thing that jumped out at me is very minor, but the gun, his black beam rifle, is cast in the same plastic as the gray hands and forearm. It's supposed to be black. It was
So
black.
he has a gray beam rifle, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's Phil, Prince of Insufficient Light. But but I mean, that's just one thing that I was hoping for, a more accurate tracks. But that gun being cast in the wrong color is something that does bother me, because he's supposed to be more accurate than this, and I'm still going to get him, unless he goes clearance somewhere. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I was really looking for it, as long as it took for this wave to come out. And on top of that, I've still got the G2 Megatron, and I've got Hot Wing from Silverhawks, and he's not due until early to mid 2024, which is another 7 months after the last update a few months ago.
It gives you time to save, Don. You're
Actually,
fine.
looking at Action Master Tracks closer, the details don't really match it at all either.
Okay,
so I don't know what the hell is going on here.
Okay, so like they put Action Master Tracks' partner thing in with this toy, but I guess besides that, maybe it isn't even supposed to be Action Master Tracks in any real capacity.
I don't think
I guess it's just cartoon styled, and they Starscreamed it.
Yeah, they threw in the Action Master thing to make out the price point, and he's also got that big giant gun that the original character did not use. So it's like,
which probably is another Action Master element.
Yeah,
it looks kind of like a Super Soaker.
Yeah,
that comes with the Action Master.
Yeah. So it looks like they tried to make it's sort of like Masterpiece, Trailbreaker, and Hoist.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm seeing here. Is it's not quite Tracks, and you can see what's in Tracks that would have been the Action Master version, but it's not that either.
Right.
And the only reason I don't want to cancel my order is like, I doubt they're going to do this again anytime soon in a more accurate paint job, because unfortunately it is Tracks. He doesn't have the following to get another redo, I don't think.
Right.
I think you're probably right.
Blade Raider says, I think Don is describing all Tracks toys. It looked good in the box. I don't think that's true of the G1 toy, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to keep my order unless it goes clearance somewhere else, and then I'll decide on that. But it's like, I want Megatron, mainly because I have Optimus. That's the only reason I want the Megatron, is to go with Optimus, because they kind of need to be a pair. Mm-hmm. But it's like, we've all seen what these Super 7 Ultimates can go for on clearance.
Yeah, a lot less.
Not horribly long after they come out,
right.
Give or take, especially with Christmas coming up in 4 months.
Don't say those words, Don.
I work retail. How do you think I feel?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Grimlock looks pretty good, though.
Yeah.
And he's huge.
Yeah. I mean, nothing immediately jumped out to me as wrong with Grimlock when I was looking at these pictures. So, like, that's at least a step up.
Yeah. And he comes with great accessories.
Yeah. A lot of stuff inspired by the Masterpiece.
Yep.
Like, it's a very similar accessory load out there. He's got the, like, cloth apron and the serving tray, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, though. The loser of the wave is Bludgeon. Bludgeon just is missing on so many aspects.
Bludgeon's a difficult case. Like, if Bludgeon hits $30, maybe $35, I probably actually will get one, because, like, it's the closest I'm going to get to, Marvel Comics Bludgeon in a format that I would actually want to have, like a posable toy.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it definitely is troubled. I don't know that I think it's that bad. The worst thing about it is just that issue that sprung up with the helmet not wanting to seat down on the skull very well. And there's ways to mitigate even that. So, like, I think Bludgeon could have ended up being worse than it is, but, like, it's like almost any Super 7 Transformers Ultimate. Like, it's okay, but it's not what you wanted it to be. Megatron also, though, looks perfectly acceptable, though.
Yeah.
Well, with maybe a sense of perspective, I've never been I enjoyed Bludgeon in the comics, but he's not like someone that I would like, get a new Bludgeon toy, But that one skeleton head looks almost comically too big, like he's trying to out Skeletor, and it just looks not good.
Yeah, I think that's the toy accurate head that has that problem. Which, I mean, the Pretender Shell's skull also looked pretty ridiculous. So I guess they're just going for accuracy to the source material with that one.
The Megatron with the smiling face, that smiling face does not look good to me.
Yeah,
but the other face is fine.
Yeah, I feel like that's a particular problem we're seeing with Super 7 Transformers characters is a difficulty in capturing the faces.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Megatron has this smirk. It's not a Starscream smirk. Starscream smirk is unique to his own. But Megatron has we've seen it before.
It's an evil grin.
It's an evil grin, like in the movie when Laserbeak lands and he says, unlike some other, there's always this little point where you see this, and that is what I think this is trying to go for.
Yeah.
And that was just like he's just like, I just passed the biggest amount of gas and no one knows it's me, and I'm going to smile.
I mean, if that happened to you, Don, wouldn't you also smile?
Anyway, it's just, I mean, it's almost like every one of these. Well, not the Grimlock. Grimlock looks pretty good, but the other three figures, there's this uncanny valley of
exactly.
Almost right, but it ain't. And they're $55 a piece.
I think Megatron forgot his eyeliner. Is like one of the biggest issues. There needs to be more black around the eyes on most of those heads, and I think that would help a lot.
But I mean,
John DeLuna's in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
He says there's no Transformers at Super 7's PowerCon booth, which is kind of telling. Tons of G.I. Joe, though.
Okay.
I mean, that almost makes sense. There has to be some greater degree of reusability with the G.I. Joe stuff than with Transformers.
Yeah, I'm just wondering
focusing on that kind of makes sense to me, but it's kind of unfortunate if they probably are kind of petering out on doing Transformers stuff because, I think this Ultimates Wave 2 is a year overdue from its original projected release date. They're obviously having problems doing this.
Yeah, and there's also a little bit of we haven't seen anything past the dead Starscream or the dead Optimus Wave, whichever that is. Are they going to keep up with this as far behind as are they going to switch gears? Eventually they'll do gears and go to other properties like G.I. Joe, since G.I. Joe is enjoying a resurgence with the success of Classified.
We'll get Wave 4. Those are the ones that were announced.
But I'm saying what's out there now all there's going to be for the foreseeable future. So if I don't get tracks now, am I going to be able to find one later?
No.
Yeah, I think you're probably wise to get this one now, Don.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the best shot to get this cheaply, because if the line is really not doing so well, it's hard to say how long it's going to be available, how many they made, all those things.
Yeah. Remember, Wave 1 clearanced out so quick, they probably did a lot less of Wave 2.
Exactly, which is worrying me that if I wait, it's like the Hasbro sales. If I wait for the next Hasbro sale, again, this won't be on there, of course, but I'm just saying, I looked at how much money I could have saved if I waited for the last sale, but also the fact that would it have actually been there?
All right. So moving on from this, I think we've talked this around plenty. And this next one is something I found particularly interesting and I'm glad I get to talk about here. So Jesse Whitten, who used to work with Fun Publications while they were running BotCon, tweeted out some mock-ups for proposed convention exclusives. And among that thread, he tweeted out a mock-up that FunPub received describing basically an abandoned early plan for Combiner Wars Computron. So for some context on this, when they were planning Combiner Wars the first time, in the initial stages of planning for Combiner Wars, there was not going to be a unique mold for Brawl. Brawl was going to be a new head retool of Rook. So now eventually they did decide to just make the new tank mold for Combiner Wars, and they shelved the Rook Brawl idea. But then when they were working on Computron, apparently what they were going to do is make a new character, Technobot, to put on the team, and instead of having Afterburner as an arm, they're going to use the Legends groove recolored for just the chest plate. So Afterburner would still be there, but there would be a new limb, and that was going to be a recolored version of the Rook with the Brawl head.
Yeah, because that was before Takara had come out with the deluxe groove mold.
That's right. And it was also, this plan was also formulated before Hasbro found out that Takara was also doing work on a Computron for themselves, and that they would be able to get their retooled groove as Afterburner. Um, so the name associated with this Ironclad is from how Jesse was pitching to reuse this concept for FunPub's purposes. So we don't know what the Technobot name for this idea would have been. And this is a very, very rough mock-up of this too, which again, Jesse Whittenrich said he didn't make this. It was just within his files with the other like unreleased toy mock-ups. But like you can see, there's things on here that never would have actually been able to work, like having a tampo on the combiner plug. That's a nylon part. It can't take factory paint. But like it kind of gets the idea across of it's almost like a proto Unite Warriors nose cone. Because we did get that Rook mold retooled for that purpose. That wouldn't have been this. Actually, I guess in the original context, because the Hasbro nose cone was the Brawl mold with a drill bit, the alternate drill bit piece put on, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
depending when this Computron plan was put together, that might not have even been an option either. We might have ended up with two Rook molds on here in different contexts like that. But I love just getting these little drops of like, yeah, this is a plan that was going to be, this is the way we were going to use this mold instead of making something new. Like, I don't think any of us had ever heard about a Rook mold going into Hasbro's Computron before this, and I love that there's just these still little like unknown bits of trivia out there. And in one weird way, I'm sad that we don't have that iteration of the Rook mold available to own, because like I love that mold. That's my favorite Combiner Wars deluxe.
yeah. I even if it hadn't been a part of
yeah.
Computron, I wish they would have found some way to get that out because I
Yeah.
loved the new characters introduced in Combiner.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
making it worse, like that the Brawl head exists on that Rook mold. That's pre-tooled onto there because they are planning from the beginning to use that for their Combaticons, and that has never seen the light of day. It's never been manufactured with that head, and I hate that, and I really wish it could have been or would be. Like that would be my dream, like weird subline thing. Like go back to the Combiner Wars molds and get all those alternate head sculpts that we know exist on these molds and get them out there in some kind of collection. Like make up a bunch of new characters. I don't care how you do it. Just like give me that Demolisher headed Onslaught, the Brawl headed Rook, anything like that. Just like make some toys out of this.
Yeah, get weird with it. Just like
yes, get weird with it. That should be the tagline for like Generations 2025. Get weird with it.
yes.
But this is all on Jesse Whittenrich's Twitter. It was this thread was posted a week or two ago, so if you want to go looking for that, you might have to dig back. It stretches back to around August 5th or so. So if you want to search for that on Twitter or find it in the show notes for this episode, we'll have a link to the Ironclad relevant tweet. You can probably find the thread from there. But it's some interesting stuff in there. This one I think is the only case of a Hasbro planned toy that didn't come out. The rest of them were just unused BotCon ideas, which is interesting enough on its own too.
Yeah, there's some neat stuff in the thread to look at.
Yeah, because I'm looking at that right now, and the Gut Cruncher from Blitzwing.
Yeah, that was a common like fandom request too.
That was excellent. The Skyfall and Flywheels. And here's the weird thing. You know me in Beast Machines. But that
Oh, do we?
yes, but thrust in those color in that groove mold, I would have loved to have got that. That actually works really well for
So
that character.
one of the things that FunPub was toying with for an exclusive was a Beast Machines Jetstorm made using the deluxe Armada Starscream mold. And I think that would have been really cool if they could have got enough retooled parts together and actually made that come together as a toy.
And of course, the leader one in Psykill, I would have loved to have got that, but
Yeah, that was probably much more of a long shot than most of it, though.
Yeah.
And
All
while we're
right.
speaking about BotCon is actually coming up next weekend in New Jersey.
Are you going to go?
Yes, I am going to go. I have a panel.
Oh.
It's going to be a podcasting panel, but I will be on a panel there Friday at 3 p.m.
Okay.
So if anyone's interested, stop in, watch the panel. It's the 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th of August in New Jersey.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So we've got some in-hand photos of the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Core Class multi-pack. So that's the set with the Optimus Prime and Bumblebee mold reuses with the brand new trailer and accessories.
I'm interested to hear how people like this.
Yeah. So apparently there's an extra piece that you have to add on to Optimus to be able to attach the trailer, which I don't know if that was clearly depicted before. He uses it as a shield in robot mode.
That makes
And
sense.
apparently the connection to roller with the trailer, like that roller pull the trailer, is not great. One strong selling point of this, though, is that you can put everything from the set into the trailer. So, like, you hook Optimus up to the trailer, and then Bumblebee and all the accessories can just go in the trailer and store cleanly. So, if you don't want to have a bunch of stuff rattling around. The thing I didn't like in these pictures was the color of the nylon parts on that Core Class Optimus in the trunk mode.
It's bad. Yeah.
That stands out kind of distinctly.
Yeah.
The trailer, I think, looks executed pretty well, though.
Yeah.
Now the problem, of course, is to remember this is a $40 set.
That's why I couldn't.
Yeah, because the now that Bumblebee is from the Target.
It is
the early buzzworthy stuff. So it's that Bumblebee, which is not a bad figure. When it went clearance, it was worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
And a core class Optimus. So at regular retail, they would have been about 24 to 25 for the pair. This is 40.
Yep.
That trailer is adding a lot to the cost.
And not a lot to the value, in my opinion. I don't know if it's in this batch of photos. I saw a picture of the repair drone unit plugged down onto roller, which I thought was kind of an interesting way to use those two pieces together. But yeah, I don't feel the like $15-ish, if not a little bit more, that the trailer is adding to the cost here. This is something that like next summer on the next Pulse sale might be worth a pickup for the 30-35% off. I can't really see it right now.
Like if the box unfolded into like the inside of the box was printed like the G1 desert scene, or like the rocket base from episode 3.
So like if it had a Studio Series style,
a backdrop, a play mat, just something. If you want to display Prime and Bumblebee, make it like this. Something in the box to make it worth the money, but it's just not there.
Yeah,
if I see the Sedalis for like $17, I'm gonna get it.
Well, of course.
But yeah, I'm with you on not really wanting to go full price on this.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they have a picture of Exvee. You said how everything could fit in the trailer, and Roller is like upside down sitting on the repair drone.
Oh yeah,
Bumblebee like slammed in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great photo.
If the trailer closes, it fits. It counts.
Exactly.
It's
If it-
just like packing a suitcase.
If it fits, it ships.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's really kind of sad that I looking at that in this context, like if I still have a World's Smallest Transformers Bumblebee in there, it would look so much better and more right in this trailer
Oh yeah.
than this Bumblebee does. I mean, just this, compared to Tiny Roller resting behind him, Bumblebee looks just hilariously
Huge.
gigantic.
Well, I mean, he's a compact car, literally the size of a semi-truck cab.
Yeah.
So I mean, you kind of get it if you just stop and think about it for a second why it looks so wrong.
Yeah, like World's Smallest Transformers or Tiny Turbo Changers, I think would look really great with this, actually.
Oh yeah. I mean, even some of the like New Age or Doctor Wu maybe made some like very small mini car figures.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably scale pretty similarly. Like that probably look better in there too if somebody had one of those.
Also, looking at the repair drone with its like mounting arm attached to the top of Roller, I'm just imagining Roller creeping along at like a couple of feet a second, just because that looks like it's seriously going to overload him.
Mm-hmm. All right. We also have this week some in-hand photos of NPM-14 Bone Crusher, which certainly looks like Bone Crusher from the first movie.
Yeah, I've actually got this on pre-order, and after seeing these photos from here and a couple of the places, I am seriously considering canceling it because I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting because this is what he looks like, but it's not what I want. I just
It doesn't look bad to me, but yeah, it's not anything particularly of significance to me. I don't think it looks bad, but yeah, it's definitely one I don't need.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
masterpiece collector, and I didn't think there would be something that they would put out that I would be like, yeah, you know what, I really don't need that. But Bone Crusher, yeah, I mean,
I
he
like
didn't even play a big part in the movie.
Yeah, I
No.
like the deluxe version. I haven't touched it in years, but I still liked it for the most part. But yeah, I think I'm canceling my pre-order after the show.
It's the anti-Brian principle. Instead of ordering something during the show, you cancel a pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
What if I bought something in pre-show?
That counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you buy those mini bots?
No comment.
That's
I'm having a really bad day. I needed to cheer myself up.
I
fine.
feel ya.
That's fine. Yeah, movie masterpieces never really like scratched any itch I had. The only one I own is the Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, and that's only because I found that at Ross for what, $25, I think.
That's a great price.
Yeah, and the sad part is I never even opened it. It's in its box in another box somewhere.
I believe that's it's stuck under a bunch of toys. It's actually right next to me, but if I pull that up, 7 figures are gonna fall.
Yeah, and he means that both in
this all
terms
sounds
of
familiar.
direct count and also the monetary value, 7 figures.
Yeah.
So our last item's kind of an interesting one. It's another movie thing. It's Killer Body's movie Optimus helmet, which is big electronic deal, voice changer and everything. Killer Body released a video showing the features of this, and the really interesting thing is the battle mask actually retracts into the helmet.
Ooh. So that means it's going to be like $600.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We don't
Probably.
know. They haven't actually released any pricing or release date yet. But like it looks really nice, and not having to just pop the mask off and put it somewhere is a nice bonus feature to it. The way the video is made, I'm not sure if they are suggesting that it is a motorized retracting or if you have to do it by hand, but like either way, for that to just slide into the helmet shape, like that's actually some pretty good engineering on that. Of course, if it's motorized, that's a lot more fun.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, that's going to be super expensive. Like, there's no way that's not going to be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and I just have a feeling it would probably never fit my oversized head on top of which. So.
So in our Discord, Jared is bringing up the Legacy 3 Wave 1, Legacy Part 3, which is Universe Wave 1 leak, which isn't a leak so much. It's all stuff that we already knew about, basically. It's just we're kind of confirming what's in the first wave. Amusingly, in that first wave, we're having two different Optimus Primes, Voyager animated Optimus Prime, and I think a package refresh of Leader Optimus Prime again. Unless it's a different Optimus Prime. I'm not exactly sure because the way that was presented, I don't think it had the package refresh mark on it.
Yeah.
But the deluxe assortment it includes Windblade. I don't have this open. I don't want to open the list because it's going to crash my internet connection again. But Windblade is in there. One of the Rock Lords is in there. Like, it's really cool because Windblade's the most G1 thing in that. There's Rescue Bots Chase in there. But like, basically it's a deluxe assortment of no original G1 anything. It's all newer characters. So like, if Windblade is IDW Windblade, which I don't think we know at this point, that'd be the closest thing to having a G1 character in there, but that's still a G1 character invented in 2013. So
Yeah.
like, very, very nice range of what's in here. I think it's Bumblebee, Chase, Windblade, and the Rock Lord for the 4 deluxes.
I wonder if Thundertron is going to be a remold of Lio Convoy just to kind of reverse things from the last time.
I mean, it's certainly plausible, and it would make a little bit more sense why, of all things, they're updating Thundertron.
Yeah.
The big concept piece from Transformers Prime that went absolutely nowhere because they retooled the whole like back end of the series to go away from their originally planned storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's some interesting stuff in there, and like, I really just appreciate this because like, it is, to use Don's word, it's such an eclectic mix of characters. It is so like, for generations,
is.
this is a really generations feeling assortment. It's pulling from all over the place instead of like 90% G1 and hey, here's a Rock Lord or something like that, you know? But yeah,
That Leader
it's,
Optimus Prime,
pretty
is
cool.
that Earthrise?
We don't know, or I don't know off the top of my head, if that's going to be Earthrise again or Laser Optimus, or if it might be something new somehow. What I'm most interested to see in this, though, is how animated Optimus Prime will turn out, like how that's going to translate into a generation style body.
Yeah.
Because like, an Optimus Prime is an Optimus Prime, but animated Optimus Prime had a really specific kind of build to him, and I don't know how that's going to really translate to, you know, G1 squares.
I don't
want of
think
a
it would
better term.
translate well.
You wouldn't think so, but like, Prowl turned out nice, and that also had that, like, you know, almost Bruce Timm kind of body shape in the original, and like, they got the silhouette of that across. So like,
Yeah.
I got hope for this, and like, this is very much an academic interest in like, okay, let me see how they actually make that work.
Yeah. Animated Bumblebee is apparently one of the deluxes too, so that'll be not quite as severe a body type, but it should be interesting to see how that comes off.
Yeah, for that, I hope that they reflect how that toy originally transformed, where I think the legs folded over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a very unusual transformation engineering for a Bumblebee toy, and I would like to see that expressed again in something that scales and works a little bit better than that original toy did. But yeah, it's a really interesting sounding assortment. I think JT Prime posted this information because someone was asking when the Beast Wars Silverbolt toy, if that was going to be a first wave toy, and according to this, it's not going to be, so that'll be still sometime later in 2024. But like, Legacy Universe sounds like it's going to be kind of an interesting thing to at least observe, even if not all the character choices are hitting everybody's buttons right now.
I mean, that's
right.
In a way that feels like the good news. There is literally something for everybody in this assortment. So I'm down with that.
Yeah, hopefully it's just not a situation where the something for everybody means like, everybody wants one or two toys out of the entirety of the line, and the whole thing just kind of flags a little bit because there's not a lot of like, must have stuff for the people with money.
Yeah.
That's my only concern with it. But like, I love the character selection that they're showing us with this whole first wave. Great cross section there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I missed pre-show. Did anybody claim going first on what we got this week?
No.
No.
Okay, then I will exercise my prerogative as host and go first myself. So I'd been kind of dragging my heels on it, but I saw one go up on a deal, Amazon Warehouse, and I got Legacy Crosscut. And yep, that's definitely the Skids mold in silver with a Diaclone head, which is exactly what I expected. It has red in places that it shouldn't have red, which I already knew. This is probably going to be, to call back to what Matt was saying about the stickers earlier, this is probably going to go with me to Hey Mickey's house at some point in the future and get some touch-ups to look a little bit more like what I would want it to. I mean, I have Masterpiece Crosscut, so I already have like the best Crosscut toy that is possible to exist. So, this is just the one little thing to fit into my normal collection. And even as much as they've overused this mold and engineering at this point, I still would buy the Reboost version if they were to ever get around to doing that. Like, I want that whole collection of the City Turbo characters.
I'd buy it too. I'm not proud of that fact, but I'd do it.
I mean, oh no, Legacy Skids is not a bad mold. We had some mixed opinions on it when Skids first came out, and we didn't know to push the hood down the rest of the way. Which, to Crosscut's credit, it's actually packaged with that engaged correctly.
Oh, nice.
Which was not the case with the Skids I got, at least. Right out of the box, I was lifting the arms, and the hood was going with it. No, this is a very solid, capable mold. I'm just a little bit tired of seeing it reused because they've gotten so much mileage out of it. But like, I'm not mad at it for that, and I, do want that one last character off of it.
Yeah,
so.
it's not prime RC levels of bad yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a better mold to start with, so that helps. The other thing I got was not from Amazon Warehouse this time. I got this one loose complete, Legacy Metal Hawk. I was able to pick this up for about $20 shipped, and luckily for getting one, pre-owned and with no packaging or anything, like it's in perfect QC condition. The paint's all great. The joint tolerances are all really solid. I wasn't really sure what to expect out of this. Metal Hawk, of course, is a heavy retool of Kingdom Cyclonus, and I'm really pleased to see that, like, while I can tell to look at it the parts that were Cyclonus, it doesn't feel in handling like it's a retooled Cyclonus. Like, you get that a little bit with the legs because they didn't really do anything different there, but like everything else about the toy works just that little bit enough differently that it doesn't feel like a repeat of what you already had. Now, the jet mode is, you're either going to love or hate this jet mode, and I'm more in the second camp than the first, but like, it is accurate in its way to what Metal Hawk looked like in G1, which was not the best jet mode because it was a pretender. The robot mode, though, is fantastic. I was looking at screen caps from Master Force, and like, they really, really nailed the look of Metal Hawk's inner robot from the show. Like, I did not even realize how accurate they had gotten that look, and like, that is super, super impressive to me. The one thing I find that I wish this had that it didn't ever come with was the big rifle from the original Metal Hawk toy. It's just got the two little blasters that form the stabilizers on the jet mode. And like, you can tab those together to be a handheld gun, but it's not really the same kind of thing. Like, I really feel like it needs that rifle as the main weapon. And there's some limited upgrade part options out there that can provide that. One particularly interesting interpretation of it was like an oversized version where the toy would then use it like a shoulder-mounted bazooka, which like I'm kind of taken with that idea, but like I really just wish there was a normal rifle that went with this. But I'm actually really happy with this, and especially getting it for about $20 made it all the nicer. So fairly simple what I got this week, but I'm happy with the things I got, or will be when someone applies some paint to the red tires.
Hmm.
Don, why don't you go next?
Thanks. I didn't get a whole lot. Just really nothing tripping my trigger. Thanks to tfradio.net/Amazon. I did not get a ham sandwich, but I did get She-Ra and the Princess of Powers.
That's a ham sandwich, Don.
Yeah, well, it's a plastic case, but $15 on Amazon for an extremely excellent series. So I wanted to pick that up. Went to Target the other day, found some of the reaction figures on sale, and some weren't. I got a Shipwreck for $5. It's Shipwreck with Polly. I kind of had to get another Shipwreck to go classified. Used my $5 coupon at GameStop and got Marvel Legends Iron Man Mark 01, which I thought would be a nice for the Iron Man shelf.
Nice.
Transformer wise, I got this last week but forgot. I got Gamer Edition Megatron and Cliff Jumper. Can't wait to see what they did on Cliff Jumper to make him so different than Bumblebee. And the last few things I got, we were out of town last weekend for the family reunion, Christy's family, and I was in the Target that I was actually stocked. And we've talked about how good these look, and we only had like one each. So I got Reaction Megatron.
Oh,
nice.
And these were actually hanging on the shelf. They had
okay. So this is the exclusive version. So that's the clear colors Megatron, right?
Yeah, he's clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you can. I'm not sure you can tell from the.
Kind of can tell at certain angles.
Yeah. So
I mean the purple is a lot darker than it would be otherwise too. You can kind of tell that it's the clear plastic from
Yeah.
that.
So that, and I got Primal.
Very nice.
Yeah. No cheat. No Dinobot on the shelf, and I left Cheetor behind because Cheetor. But the card art looked great. It's just these are the two. If I want to buy any of the four on wave one, it would be these two first to have the match pair, and then a Dinobot if I see one down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
Well, light week for you. So Matt was having some technical difficulties last week, so I want to give him a chance to finish recapping what he got for last week's show that we had to cut him off for because he sounded like I did earlier this episode, which only our live stream audience will actually know because Brian's going to edit all that out.
Yeah. The Zoom update did not go well for me last week.
Oh, it really didn't. We ended up sitting here till like 45 minutes or so after the show wrapped up, if not longer, trying to get
something like that. It eventually boiled down into I had to completely uninstall Zoom and reinstall it because the update just didn't work right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was talking about Studio Series 86 Braun last week, and still love him. He's absolutely amazing. They need to go ahead and like announce a retool into Outback just now because I am impatient and I want another copy of this this transformation scheme. It is so good. Also, I wasn't sure if I got across where he has these tiny little gap fillers on the outside of his calves, and I launched somehow one of them across the room and have still never found it.
Oh no.
Wow.
It is gone. It's sadness. But love the toy. He is absolutely my favorite like deluxe redo of the Minibot characters. Like it's not even close. So I also got the Shuttle Attack 2 set with Prowl and Ironhide's corpses. And I have mixed feelings on the set. So they did away with Ironhide's clear plastic. Well, actually, they did away with all the clear plastic in the sets. But while I was conducting the autopsy on Ironhide, I figured out that the parts fit without the clear plastic is just so much better. Like everything just in van mode goes where it's supposed to go. I don't get this annoying gap that the that the Studio Series original, just I've tried everything to
Oh
get that
yeah.
stupid gap to
Yeah.
close. The 2-pack one with everything opaque just transforms like it's supposed to. It's amazing. I was actually kind of thinking about maybe wanting to like switch out 1 or 2 parts with the original. So really good figure. Absolutely gorgeous. These colors are just insane. He does have the prevalent problem with this mold where the force needed to turn the elbows is greater than the tensile strength of the materials. So his
Yeah.
elbow just pops off the joint every time. It's especially obnoxious since you have to turn that elbow to transform him. But that's the only nitpick I have with these. Like, so good. Seriously. I need at least one more because when I get Trash Master, like this is going to be a leg of a trash dinosaur. But he's glorious in his freaking Scooby-Doo 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles colors, and I absolutely love him. Hasbro, can we get a couple of wacky repaints of Crash Bar, please? Because I need more Junkion Combiner limbs. Like that's a necessary.
Let's
So
put the color wheel on the dartboard and just give us some stuff.
yes, please. Also, you can do this again as Wrecker Hook, and I would buy it. Just throwing that out there. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, that's my haul for the week.
Wrecker Hook and the Machine Wars tow trucks.
Hoist
Yes.
and hubcap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Don. Hoist, I always remember Hoist because obviously Hubcap is the one that I had so much trouble remembering was a Machine Wars character. Rob, why don't you go next?
Okay. I just want to preface this by saying I actually did have a ham sandwich for dinner. But I got a couple of things after last week's show. After Brian was talking about Mandarake, I started rooting around there and
Oh boy.
found a whole bunch of Shoto, Kamen Rider, and Chodo Ultraman figures that I'd been looking for. So I'll try to keep it brief on those. But I got among other things, I got every major flavor of Shocker Mook except for just I did not get the monochrome mime, but I did get the red and green one. So I think that's the superior choice there. Stop me if you've heard this one before, but Kamen Rider Wizard looks really cool, but has some problems in the execution.
No, I did not know that. I am shocked and amazed.
And but yeah, I got Mandarake got this all to me, pretty reasonable shipping in the space of about a week. So I'm really happy with that. And just to torture the metaphor a little more, on eBay, I got a big platter of deli ends. I got a mixed lot of Shoto figures and some Sodo figures, which are to a slightly larger scale, slightly different kind of candy toy. Not 100% compatible, but if you look at them from a distance, it'll be fine. Got wound up with the latest release of Shoto Kamen Rider Double. Also wound up with both flavors of Birth, and I believe Excel and O's were the other two. And beyond that, just got a whole bunch of Soto figures, mostly I believe from some from Double, some from X-Aid. And there's also just a bunch of random parts from other toys in this lot. I love that kind of lot. It's been years since I got anything like it. But besides having a little vinyl version, like Shoto scaled version of one of the Shocker Commander's monster forms, I also wound up with a Shoto Shoto scaled guardrail. So just of all the dumb little things to be so happy with, it's like I have a 1/18 scale guardrail for various toys with motorcycles. I'm pretty happy about this.
Yeah.
And I probably got something else, but I do not remember what off the top of my head. So that's the extent of it for this week.
That's fun though.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, Diecast, you're up.
All right. As
So
we were
Grimlock,
saying
huh?
in the show, Grimlock, and the box is so huge. Let me hold up another Super 7 box I have Ray Fillet right here, and here's Ray Fillet, and here's
Uh,
Grimlock.
yeah, so it's like twice as much surface area and like twice as deep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's like
Wow. Yeah.
for the price point, I was not expecting it to be this big.
Yeah, because I mean, if you just look at the box, you think that would be one of their deluxe figures that pushes the $80 price point like Monstar.
But this is the same $55 as the rest of them.
Yeah, I guess
Dang.
they could have made the box a little bit smaller, but
I mean, yes and no.
I mean, I can tell you, I am opening this box and throwing it out. It's like ridiculous to have that big of a box. But yeah, I haven't opened him yet, but he, like from the photos, he's probably the best of the wave, especially for the size of him. I also got the Takara Tomy leader Optimus Primal.
Oh yeah, the like Ultimate Optimus Primal or whatever they were calling it.
Yeah. Like I said, I miss the big sized leader figures.
Yeah.
Like when we get like a Voyager that's leader price point, but maybe additional articulation or scale or complexity or something. Like I just miss our big leaders. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to pick that up. And then also I picked up Starscream, the G1
Walmart Retro one.
Walmart Retro. I like it more than I thought. I picked it up because it finally went on clearance. It was $22.
I'm still waiting to see clearance ones here, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I knew it was going to go on clearance, so I would watch out because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I like it a lot more than I thought I would. Part of it is because he can hold Megatron. And I guess just part of it, like he feels really heavy. A couple times I've gotten reproductions like Soundwave. Soundwave felt cheaper than the G1 that I used to have. This feels on par with the G1 that I used to have. So I do really, really like him. And especially I knew I had to pick him up because I already got Thundercracker. Did they release Skywarp yet?
No.
I don't think so.
Not
Yeah.
here, maybe in like the UK.
So, I got one more to get. But yeah, I mean, I got Hound, I got can't remember if there was any others that came out. Was Hound?
You
I
get
don't
Hot
know
Rod?
Hound and Thundercracker was the last.
Yeah, Hound and
recent wave.
Thundercracker. I got Hot Rod, which
I
again
need to
was
get that hot rod.
pretty good. But surprisingly, Starscream is the ones that's sitting on the shelves at Walmart. But I really like him, and I'm glad to have him. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do the Insecticons or not. Time will tell on that one. But that's pretty much all I got this week.
Even for $5 less, those Insecticons are still a big ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they hit clearance though, there's some opportunities there, I figure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's a big clearance gamble to take too, since they're gonna be, 3 successive waves.
Yeah. Just thinking about it before we move on though, Diecast, it makes sense to me that Starscream would probably feel better than Soundwave because if we assume that there's some kind of like less dense plastic than they might have used in the 80s for Soundwave was like almost all plastic. He has metal joints in his shoulders and he has metal toes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas the whole main body of Starscream, the whole red part, that is a big chunk of metal. So that's gonna feel pretty weighty even now, I bet.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and you really wouldn't want to try to use a less dense metal for the body because then you're just making a soda can.
Yeah.
All right. I got everybody right.
Yep.
I don't think Brian's participating this week. All right. So as always, Radio Free Cybertron is brought to you by you. You can be a patron and help keep us being a show that goes out on the internet by going to tfradio.net/Patreon or patreon.com/tfradio. Patrons at all tiers get some pretty good benefits. They get an ad-free version of the podcast. The public feed gets automatically inserted pre-roll and post-roll ads. Patrons will get the podcast a day ahead in the patron feed versus the public feed. Maybe not 24 hours, but you'll get it the calendar day before, which seems like a probably really awkward use of phrasing there, but it's a little bit more accurate than saying the day before because it might not be a full day. Although sometimes the scheduling just works out weird and you might get on the patron feed a couple days early, but usually not. It goes out at a higher bit rate, so when my internet goes crappy, which you won't even hear this week because of editing magic, but when I sound terrible, you'll get it in the best possible quality there is. There's also the weekly patron-exclusive pre-show podcast, which I assume there was a pre-show this week. I wasn't actually here for it because I was eating a pizza. You get unedited episodes of RFC exclusive to patrons. That doesn't count for technical snags necessarily, but if there are spicy content edits, you'll have the option to listen to that as well as the cleaned up public release version. You will also get the History on the Fives podcast a week early. And if you join as a patron at the Touch tier, you actually will have the opportunity to be on History on the Fives, which is hosted by Rob, where he and his band of merry regulars talk about the notable events that happened in the history of the Transformers brand for spans of 5, 10, 15, etc. years. And of course, patrons at the Touch tier get mentioned on the show each week, and I forgot to preload the credits page, so we're going to suffer through my internet while I let that load up. Because no matter what, the shout-out has to go on. All right, let's just stop that in progress. All right, am I coming through clearly still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so our Touch patrons, thank you very much to Kevin Dorsey, AJ, Eric Griffin, Tyrell Gwynn, Rick Mahurin, Ryan Bona, Emmett Stresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, Ness, Joey Russell, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob, Jay Klein Rye, Sean Hamilton, Jacob Owen Lutia, Sean Bratton, Jason Hiley. I'm so sorry for how I'm going to pronounce this because I got it wrong every time since you've joined. TJ Petrucci, Hyper Shouta, and Brock Brandt. Thank you all so much for being our Touch patrons and helping us to keep going on the show. You can check out our Touch patrons at any time at tfradio.net/credits. And of course, all of our patrons, we love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here with us, whether you're a Touch patron or not. We appreciate you so, so much. We literally could not do this without your help. If you would like to otherwise support the show, you can always use our Amazon affiliate link, tfradio.net/Amazon. You can buy literally anything on Amazon. Well, almost literally anything. There's, some categories of items you probably can't find on there. But for the most part, for any, practical purposes, if you want it, you can probably get it from Amazon. My family just bought a new air fryer this week because the one we've had for 4 or so years gave up the ghost last week, and now we're shopping for a heat-proof mat to put under it so it doesn't melt our cheap countertops when we use it. But you can find those and other kinds of great things at Amazon, so be sure to use our link, and they will send a little bit of money back to us for everything you buy. It takes away from them and not you, and there couldn't be an easier way to help throw some support to the show. So Brian was here producing, but was not able to be actively part of the show this week. You can find him on the internet at briankilby.com. If he's still on Twitter, he'll be at bkilby. He's also in our Discord on and off when time permits, tfradio.net/Discord. John DeLuna is not part of the regular show anymore, but he's also in our Discord, and he's, forever part of the RFC family. You can find him on the internet at that John D everywhere. Rob Springer, also forever part of the RFC family. You can find him at RoboRobSpringer on Twitter or at zonebase.org. And look for his Transform Squadron podcast on our podcast feed once a month. You can find us on your podcast aggregator of choice, things like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. We are on Twitter at TF Radio. Of course, we have our Patreon page. We're probably still on Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. We, of course, stream live every week on YouTube and Twitch. We don't put placeholders on the YouTube page anymore for the upcoming streams. So if you want to make sure to be notified when we go live, be sure to go and subscribe to us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Radio Free Cybertron. You'll find us. Subscribe and hit the bell notifications so that you'll get push notifications or inbox notifications when we start a broadcast each week. And if YouTube has gotten the bug in their head again that we're made for kids and won't let the notifications work, that'll get corrected soon enough. We have to go through that rigmarole every so often. I can be found in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, like I was plugging earlier in the show. It's really the best place you can go for Transformers and other semi-related nerd discussion topics. We've got a great crew of regulars there. A lot of people that I'm really happy to talk to every day. I highly recommend it. So come hang out with us. It's really easy, free. You don't even have to install anything. Rob, why don't you go next?
Okay. For as long as I have the patience, I'm on Twitter at Rob Flails. If they start carding me, I'm gone. But
it's X now. It's X.
It's Twitter. I was there before Twitter. He was.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way, Rob Flails. That is for Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel. I cover Gundam games, mostly Gundam Battle Operation 2. This last week we added the Psycho Doga, so which has a silly hat. So that's that's always good times. Robots with silly hats are a treasure. But if you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, you can request specific rounds, specific robots, things like that. And if you'd rather just send me a gift for some reason, tfradio.net/playlist has my Amazon wish list. And if you get anything through that, just like the tfradio.net/Amazon link, a little bit will go towards the show.
Cool. Don?
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC4EVR. I do have a wish list on Amazon, tfradio.net/Don's list.
Don list, singular.
Don list, sorry. Whatever.
One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days. Well, I got the He-Man name right last week, so,
Yes, you did.
So there's that,
Small victories.
Small victories. That was a good episode.
Was.
So that's, I'm looking at other social media sites, but they all confuse me a lot. So I don't know where I'm going to go if Twitter finally decides to just up and die. So on our Discord, of course, or I can be found as me on Facebook the few times a month I go to Facebook. And I guess that's it.
Diecast.
You can follow me on X at Diecast2. And you can
Brian, edit over that. Insert Twitter where he said X.
You can also like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. You can see my reviews on youtube.com/RFC Reviews or tfradio.net/reviews. And if you want to laugh, I also have a wish list at tfradio.net/diecast list.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us this week. Thanks for being here, and thanks for bearing with us through various degrees of technical difficulties this week. Next week, I would like to say will be better, but who the hell knows? See ya.
See you guys.
Take care, all.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to stop the stream because I don't want to risk anything crashing. So, bye Twitch.